You are listening to the Knightline Sports Network, brought to you by Travis Dever and the Dever team, 386-690-1636.
This is WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's news and talk.
Welcome to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Night Nation's only call-in show goes live now.
All right, hello Night Nation, hello Orlando. This is Andrew Phegley, and this is Knightline at Night, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barr Law, assisting injured veterans get the help they deserve. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036, or visit protectingvets.com. You can also call Travis Dever for all your new Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. And if you need a new or used car, truck, or Jeep, you can give me a call, 386-736-3000, 386-736-3000, or come and see me at DeLand Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Otherwise, we're taking your calls, 844-580-9326 on the show here today, 844-580-9326, or you can use the open mic feature in the WDBO app. Once again, I'm Andrew Phegley at AP_Knightline on Twitter. Got Big Ben Stout here with me at Big Social 32 on Twitter. Roger Phipps at Night Bengal on Twitter is from the Santa Rosa Beach studios, and you can find all the rest of our content on nightlinesports.com. All right. Well, it's full-on basketball season, guys. 100%. UCF pulled off a really good win yesterday and one earlier last week as well. Ones that I did not see them coming back from, but they did. 68-66 win over the Tulane Green Wave yesterday. A comeback win, also a comeback win against ECU last week. These comeback wins are a little scary, but I'm glad they're able to do it, Ben.
Yeah, they certainly are scary. I mean, I think there's so many people that probably turned off the TV set when we were at East Carolina in the second half and down 20, and not just down 20, but after the debacle that was the game at the Cows last weekend, probably one of the worst UCF basketball performances that I've seen over the last probably 5 years. After that, and then the first half, we go to ECU at the first half. We're down 44-28 at halftime. We're down by 20 at some point in the second half. And then, I mean, thank God we just were able to, start hitting some shots, gaining some confidence, able to lock them up on defense, and just went on a crazy run in the second half to force overtime, and then wound up winning in overtime, outscoring them 44-28 in the second half. Obviously, we flipped the score on them, and then 20-13 in overtime. And Brandon Mahan had all 19 of his points in the second half in overtime. He just kind of woke up out of a funk that he was in, and Darius Perry had a great game as well. But the story of the week for me is somebody that we've been talking about off and on all season, and that's the freshman Darius Johnson. He scored 16 points in the game on earlier in the week against ECU, 17 yesterday. He's come on strong at a point in the season where freshmen usually start to fade a little bit in a college basketball first year playing. So that's great to see. If we can get another guard going, along with hopefully on nights from our stars, we could be dangerous yet again throughout the rest of the season. We'll see.
Well, here's what Johnny Dawkins had to say about Darius Johnson the other day after the win yesterday.
He's terrific, and he's only going to keep getting better, as you see with his minutes, as he gets comfortable. I was saying at the beginning of the season, it's just a process for all young people. But no, he's a terrific guard, and he's going to be, a good guard for us for a long time. So excited to have him here. Looking forward to showing him a few things on tape to continue to help his growth as we go forward. But he's been terrific. He hadn't played like a freshman, that's for sure.
All right. Well, definitely not playing like a freshman, Ben. Roger, you got anything to add into this?
Yeah, a few things. First of all, Darius Johnson, as Ben alluded to, we've been talking about him for a hot minute. His body type and his style when he drives the paint and has confidence really can help us out. One of the things that we've been doing a lot of is shooting on the perimeter. And, the challenge with that is, the good thing about that is it draws the defense out and should open up the lane, but we haven't had anybody that really drove the paint hard. Darius Perry tends to come off the side of the lane where DJ goes right in. And the thing that illustrated it to me was he had this one layup where he really put the body into the green wave defender and just kind of leaned back and hung in the air and dropped in a shot. So, if we can get that paint presence back to complement all the shooters that we have, that helps, especially when, we have 2 or 3 that are having an off night. So, I was very, very happy to see, if you look at Brandon Mahan's shots, even in the Tulane game, they're all 3-pointers. When you look at Darren Green Jr., he was 5 for 15, 4 of 11 behind the arc. So, again, we don't need much from them, and they can get a little streaky and have been recently. But if we can get more of that paint presence, that'll help with rebounds. That'll help with everything else that we're doing, because that's the one theme that I've kind of seen is that our offensive rebounds have kind of petered off the last few games, and that's really kind of hurt us.
All right, here's what Johnny Dawkins had to say on another comeback win.
I think they really believe that, they've done it before. So just having that belief and that confidence that you can do it. Now, no one wants to get in that position, but, like I said, I always give the other team a lot of credit for making it, score the way it was at that time. I thought Tulane played a terrific basketball game. They were tough. They had a lot of skilled players out there, difficult to guard. So I give our guys a lot of credit for just hanging in there, staying positive, staying confident, and then, when we were able to make a run late, we were able to finish it out. And so that was really good for our team, and I think it'll continue to help us build the type of program we want to build.
So, Ben, these comeback wins, though, can be I don't know. I mean, I guess this helps you know that you can do something like that in the future if you have to, but getting behind and having to do that is not a good thing at all.
Yeah, we have to get off to better starts in basketball games, because Johnny Dawkins kind of touched on it there, and what he said you don't want to get yourself in that situation constantly, but they have the confidence to know that they can come back. Now, there's going to be leads that we're not going to be able to come back on, and especially the 2 teams that we're playing against this week, and particularly next Saturday at playing Houston at home. That's a team that you just can't let get up, because they're a veteran group that's going to be able to figure out, ways to keep that lead and hold on to it and actually build upon that lead against you. So we cannot get down, especially against some of the better teams in this conference. We've got to be able to figure out a ways to come out of the locker room in the opening tip, and really put it on teams and then sustain the lead. One of the things that we've done a really poor job of is not necessarily how we come out of the locker room in the second half. It's how we go into the locker room in the first half. The last 2 minutes of the first half of most games is where we allow teams, even if we have a lead, to kind of go on a little bit of run. We saw it yesterday at Tulane. I think we were up by like 8 with about 2-3 minutes left in the first half, and we let them come all the way back, and they were within 2 at halftime, I believe, maybe 3. I mean, these are things that we've got to be able to close out that first half and go into the locker room with a lot more confidence, because we haven't seen that this year. And we've got to improve upon it.
Yeah, you talked a little bit about earlier about now I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh man, this happens every once in a while. Live radio, folks. Oh boy.
Were you talking about their attitude and how Ben was talking about, seeing that intensity from this team?
Yeah, thank you. You talked earlier about how people were turning off the game, a lot of them during that ECU game. I was one of those people, and I texted you. I'm like, I can't watch this anymore. Mm-hmm. And then saw the score pop up on my phone, and I was like, what the 11 daylights happened? Like, they won that game, and I can't believe it, because literally when I turned it off, they were probably down by 20, if not more. At the time, and you just normally don't come back from games like that. It sounded like as well, and I did not see it because I didn't watch the rest of the game, but the players were being a little bit animated on the sideline by the bench as well. And I guess after the game as well, after the ECU game, there was quite a bit of arguing and yelling going on, I guess, and maybe it sparked something. Here's what Johnny had to say when he was asked about that. I guess you could see it on TV. So people were asking about it after they actually asked him yesterday after the game about the ECU game.
Those things are healthy, as long as they don't get out of hand. And I thought our guys just, when people are speaking and with passion and desire, I mean, you can't fault a young person for that. It's just, it's how you handle those emotions, how you use those emotions is what counts. And I thought everyone used it in the right way. It was positive. I thought we rallied around those situations. We got better, each time we came out of a timeout or halftime because of that. And so it was good for us. And I think it's going to help us grow and even be a more united team as we go forward.
One of the things that we've been talking about in our little chat that we have, I think all of us were agreeing that this team didn't look like they wanted to fight up until that point. I think it was the ECU, especially during the USF game, which, I mean, there's no excuse for losing to your rival, period. There's no excuse. And they just looked, really flat out there, like just nobody had the desire to win. We all know that they could have won that game. They just didn't want to win the game. It looked like from outside anyway.
Yeah, and as I said on our chat, there's kind of three words that always come to mind: player-led intensity. Right? We've seen flashes of it from guys like Darius Perry, a little bit from the freshman Darius Johnson, but that player-led intensity is what we lack at certain times. And as we said to each other, you should not have to be told to have energy against USF. I don't care what type of season USF has happened. I don't care what type of season we're having. You should not, as a player out of a sports team at UCF, ever have to be told to get up for that game. And that was what was disappointing when we went there and just laid an egg. And so at times we lack that kind of player-led intensity. And so we need to see more of it. We saw it the last two games and as they come back, but we need to see more of it coming out of the locker room and, right off the tip off. So hopefully we can continue that, what we've seen and over the last couple of games. Hopefully we can continue that moving forward.
Yeah, and it seems like possibly that's what has started to happen. The players are holding themselves and their buddies, accountable for that. So, okay, we need to take a break here, and we will be right back on Knightline at Night.
An auto accident can change your life forever. At Chad Barr Law, we are raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Hi, I'm Chad Barr, and I want you to know that our entire team is dedicated to providing you with the representation you deserve in your greatest time of need. If you or a loved one have been injured in an auto accident, call 407-599-9036 for a free consultation or visit chadbarlaw.com. At Chad Barr Law, our clients come to us in need and leave as family. Offices, Altamont Springs.
Hey, this is Travis Dever, Kai's Real Estate, the Dever team, New Smyrna Beach. Your source for real estate and everything else, New Smyrna Beach. Proud sponsor of Knightline. Call me anytime at 386-690-1636. That's 386-690-1636. Let me show you my hometown, New Smyrna Beach, UCF's favorite beach. Go Knights and charge on.
Looking for more out of your Porsche? Look no further than Flat6Motorsports.com. They have the widest selection of aftermarket Porsche parts anywhere in the world. With over 85 product lines and in-depth expertise, Flat6Motorsports.com is your one-stop shop for any Porsche performance needs. Whether you're shopping for intakes, exhausts, suspension, or tuning, they have you covered. Flat6Motorsports.com is the premier Porsche aftermarket specialist. Check them out at Flat6Motorsports.com.
And now, back to Nightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, Andrew Phegley back with you on Nightline at Night, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barlaw. Got Big Ben Stout and Roger Phipps with me, talking UCF sports. I guess we'll use this segment really quick here to talk a little bit about football, because there is some football stuff going on still, believe it or not. Recruiting and transfer portal stuff. Lots of transfer portal stuff. Lee Hunter coming over from Auburn this week, defensive lineman, believe has 4 years left for him, or 3 years at least for him. And then Kobe Hudson as well, coming over from Auburn to UCF, a wide receiver. Getting lots of stuff done in the transfer portal for sure. Lots of Auburn players coming to UCF. Hopefully this all works out good. Either one of you guys got anything to say about this stuff?
I guess for me, it's exciting to get more of these Auburn players over, because they're top-rated picks. The receiver actually had a really good freshman season for Auburn, so I'm excited about that. Any defensive players that we can get that are SEC quality and have been in SEC training programs, obviously, is going to be a big hit for us. And, Big Cat was pretty successful for us as well.
Yeah, Lee Hunter will be very, very big for us. I think he will fill that spot in the middle left by Kalia Davis going to the NFL a little bit early. So I'm excited about him. I think he's the one that I have to look again, but I think that he has all of his years left, maybe 3, though. I'll have to look. Ben, what about you?
Yeah, I think it's great getting the Auburn players. I think it shows just how good Gus is and his coaching staff is at building relationships, whether it be with their former players, somebody like Lee Hunter, or the former players that they recruited, like the wide receiver that you just mentioned coming over. It shows you that he is very good at building relationships in recruitment. It shows you how good he is in recruitment, and kind of tapping into those massive amount of not resources from a money standpoint, just resources from his overall reputation and his clout that he has nationwide with these players. It's just that is so positive of an outlook when it comes to Gus and his staff. I just think that he's really in tune with how these players, what makes them tick, and it shows in his former players wanting to come and join what he's got going on at UCF.
Yeah, a lot of players, don't want to follow their old coach, especially if a coach has been, fired or whatever. But you see it more and more now. You get a coach and you're going to get a lot of players as well. So it's interesting that Gus has been able to, get these guys to come from Auburn. A lot of them obviously held him in very, high stature to want to do that, and that's a good thing about that for sure. The other thing I wanted to mention here, Gus Malzahn's wife, supposedly in the hospital with some issues on life support, from what I had read in one issue or in one article that I was reading. So we wish her well and wish the entire family, who's had not the greatest year. Gus's family has had a difficult year with sickness and all kinds of things going on. So Christy Malzahn, we definitely are thinking of you and Gus as well to get better there. So, all right, going to take another break, and we will be back on Knightline at night talking more about UCF sports. If you haven't figured it out yet, I love Tijuana Flats. I would love them even if they weren't a partner with us on the Knightline Sports Network. They have all kinds of great Tex-Mex food, and it's fresh, by the way. Made to order burritos, tacos, enchiladas, chimichangas, quesadillas, bowls, nachos, and taco salads. And if you haven't tried the queso, you are completely missing out. It is the best queso that I've ever had in my life. Absolutely hands down. And the sauce bar that they have, everything from wild to mild in there. Absolutely awesome, awesome stuff. Not only do I love the food at Tijuana Flats, but I love the company, a UCF-born company. And they give back to the community with the Justin Queso Foundation. So head to your local Tijuana Flats. Tex-Mex for everyone. Hey Jeep Wrangler owners, have you ever sat in your office at work and watched the rain just pour into your Jeep because the weatherman said that there was a 0 chance of rain? Or you put your doors back on because there was a 100% chance and then not a drop of rain fell? Well, there's a company out there that can help take the worry away and give you the peace of mind to be without your doors. The company's called Life Without Doors. They make waterproof rain curtains and dash covers for Wranglers. Life Without Doors is there to help make the decision to leave the doors at home an easy one. Find out more at lifewithoutdoors.com.
Spice up your company with homemade marketing services from Tasty Gravy Creative. Tasty Gravy serves up the menu of budget-friendly marketing, graphic design, and public relations services customized to your specific goals. Co-owned by a UCF graduate, Tasty Gravy can help refresh your brand, strengthen your online presence, or reinforce your company's message. Contact Tasty Gravy for help with your website, social media, marketing, advertising materials, and more. Visit tastygravy.com.
And now, back to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back on Knightline at Night with you. I'm Andrew Phegley, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barr Law, assisting injured veterans get the help they deserve. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036, or visit protectingvets.com. You can also call Travis Dever for all your New Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. And if you need a new or used car, truck, or Jeep, you can call me, Andrew Phegley, at 386-736-3000, or visit me at DeLand Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. You can also call us here to talk to us on this radio show, 844-580-9326, 844-580-9326, or you can use the open mic feature in the WDBO app. Once again, I'm Andrew Phegley at AP_Knightline on Twitter. And got Big Ben Stout with us here at Big Social 32 on Twitter, and Roger Phipps at Night Bengal on Twitter from the Santa Rosa Beach Studios. And you can find all the rest of our content on nightlinesports.com. We are here talking UCF sports, talking a little bit about a win yesterday, a big win, I'm going to say, 68-66 win over Tulane by the men's basketball team yesterday. Good comeback win again, two games in a row, big comeback wins. So, one of the things Johnny Dawkins was asked on how do these comeback wins help going forward. Here's what he had to say.
Well, we have to keep trying to go 1-0. We have to keep trying to, win the game, with the next opponent in mind. And our guys are understanding that. I think the more we're in these situations, the more you push through January and enter into February, you want to be playing your best basketball when it counts the most. And hopefully we're trending in that direction by taking some of these lessons that we've learned from being down in these games. And I think that's going to help us immensely as we move forward.
All right, Ben, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, anything that can gain confidence in a team and have them instill confidence in each other is going to help us moving forward. We obviously need to get off to better starts. We need to close out the first half better. So, I mean, we've already talked about that. We just need to play more together. I mean, I think at the beginning of that game, when we built up a little bit of a lead in the first half of the game yesterday, it was because we were moving the ball so well on offense. The passing was fantastic. And as Roger mentioned earlier, we were getting into the paint, which opened up some things for our shooters. Mbake Jong had a great first half, great game overall for him yesterday with a double-double, 16 and 10. He had 3 blocks. We got him established earlier. I think if we can get some paint touches early, whether it be going through Mbake Jong or if CJ Walker starts the game, trying to get him involved early, I think that'll open up the outside for our great shooters where they're catching the ball in rhythm and taking open shots as opposed to off the dribble, kind of trying to create their own shot. And sometimes, as we know, it can be frustrating as a fan to watch where they're, it seems like, for lack of a better statement, they're just kind of chucking the ball up there. So it was an interesting way to start the game yesterday with Darius Johnson starting in replace of Brandon Mahan. He came off the bench, but as we talked about, Johnson did a good job throughout the entire game, played 34 big minutes yesterday, and Mbake Jong getting involved early kind of opened it up for our shooters to get going.
Yeah, speaking of Mbake, here is what Johnny Dawkins had to say about him and his double-double.
I thought that was Mbake's best performance for us, and we needed it the most. I mean, they were playing terrific. They had a good, sizable double-digit lead, and I thought he just kept making play after play for us, rebounding, blocking shots, finishing around the basket. He was terrific, and so I'm just really happy for him. And like I said, his teammates have a lot of belief in him. They trust him, and I thought he was really good tonight.
Mbake has been a very, very important part of this team this year. Definitely starting to show it now, especially Ben.
Yeah, somebody who came in here as a transfer, a grad senior transfer from UNLV, and he's only been with the team a few months, but he was picked to be one of the captains by our players. So, somebody who's provided some leadership right away and really provided some great rim protection and size down in the middle. He's got great touch around the basket. And like I said, I think that if we continue to get him involved, especially early in the game, it's going to pay dividends for us.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Roger.
Yeah, for me, talking about him, it's just about energy, right? So Ben was talking about this in our group chat, and obviously we've talked about it, is keeping up the energy the whole time and that mentality, right? And you watch him; he's not only a physical presence in the paint, but he's also down on the floor fighting for balls. He's a big guy, and he's the guy who's chasing there, jumping on the ground for jump balls, always in the mix. Around the rim, and just, overall provides that level of leadership and is constantly coaching on the floor. Perry has been doing that even when he doesn't play well or Johnny takes him off the floor. He's been doing that as well. But Mbake Jong, I mean, talk about a guy who's embraced the team, embraced the school, has played well, and on top of that has taken on a true leadership role within the team. And I think the more of that we see, the better off that we'll be.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. Speaking of Brandon Mahan, we've constantly talked about how he is kind of a second half player. One of the guys at the press
OT player in ACU, or the third half.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. But he just seems to come awake in the second half. I don't know if he's slow getting going or what it is, but somebody asked Johnny Dawkins about this. This is kind of a funny comment, actually.
It's amazing. I'm still trying to figure that out too. I'm not quite sure. I mean, I think his preparation was good. His practices, how he approaches the game is good. But he seems to be a better second half player, or he has been thus far. We still have some season to play, so we'll see if that changes. But I will say, if I had to take my choice, I'd rather have him playing like he plays down the stretch as opposed to maybe starting the game off. Because a lot of guys can start the game off, but there are not a lot of guys who can close the game, and he's one of the best closers.
Well, he is, and he's done a great job in that kind of position to do that. He's been kind of an off and on kind of guy. Ben, we talk about this a lot about him.
Yeah, he can be, to put it lightly, he can be frustrating to watch at times as a UCF fan. And I don't want to knock him too much, but I think it has a little bit of a misconception about his demeanor. He's when you're knocking down shots and hitting some big shots like he has, that kind of calm attitude that he has, where he never seems to really get too high or too low. He's just kind of even keeled all the time. That can be perceived of, he's got ice water in his veins, and he's just got a great, demeanor towards the game and all that stuff. It doesn't matter what's happening. He's knocking down these shots and he's just staying calm. But when you're not knocking down shots, when you're off, that attitude, that kind of approach to the game can be looked at as complacent, can be looked at as like nonchalant, and can be looked at, if you're really going to be harsh, that you don't care. Right. So I think that that kind of second perception that I just described does not truly describe who Brandon Mahan is, but it can be frustrating when he is kind of searching for his own shot instead of kind of letting the game come to him, and he's missing some shots, and it kind of doesn't seem like he's really bringing the intensity that we need him to bring as a player. But when he's on, he is on. He is one of the more streaky players in the nation, but when he is kind of on, in that on again, off again that he has, it's really something interesting to watch, and he's one of the reasons why we were able to come back from being down 20 at ECU.
Yeah, absolutely. Another guy that does some weird things out there sometimes, the only way to explain it. Darren Green Jr. Launched one yesterday. It looked like almost from half court. I mean, probably not that far, but he launches some from, and made it, by the way, but launches some from some pretty crazy spots. And one of the reporters asked Johnny Dawkins about him as well, asking, do you allow him just to shoot from anywhere?
No, he can't pull up from everywhere he wants. You remember we had Matt Williams doing the same thing, so it's not uncommon for us to have players who I see do that in practice. He's not doing anything I have not seen him do in practice. I'm a big believer in, you practice how you play. I like to see you do those things there before I see you step on the court and do them in a live game, and he's done that continuously for us since he's been here as a freshman. So those shots are never a surprise to me. When he's open, he knows that he has the green light to shoot the ball.
All right, well, that's good because he shoots a lot of three-pointers and shoots them very well as well. So real quick on that, I was, as you guys know, I was able to do the color commentary on the game against Temple a couple of weeks ago. So I was in UCF Arena all day for shoot-arounds or whatever. I was hanging out in the arena all day, and UCF was supposed to have their shoot-around at 5, and Darren Green Jr. came out at 4 o'clock, almost on the dot, and he must have got up at least 350 shots before they even started shoot around. Just him and a manager out there, just putting up shots. And I'm telling you, he must have, of his first 100 shots, he might have missed maybe about 3 of them, maybe. So those are the types of things, the work ethic and the shooting ability that doesn't just come from his God-given gifts. It comes from the amount of hard work that no one really sees. So he's somebody that works at his craft, and it's shown this year that he's just a heck of a shooter. So I wanted to give him kind of that just due there, that he really works hard at it. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, you can tell that he works hard at it. Anybody who is out there extra time, when they don't have to be and all that stuff, you can definitely tell in their game. And he's definitely one of those, type of guys, because he can put it up from anywhere, places where you don't think that it's going to happen from, really. So
Yeah, he's earned that right?
Yeah, and that's basically what Johnny Dawkins says. He doesn't really want him shooting from anywhere, but if he sees it in practice and he can do it in practice, then he can do it in games. And it's good to hear, Johnny Dawkins kind of tell, because Matt Williams was another guy like that he mentioned as well, that just shot shots that were kind of crazy, and you did not think that these shots were going to go in, but they most of the time wound up going in. So it's exciting to watch, I can tell you that. Whether you're there in person or watching on TV, when somebody puts up a shot that you think that there's no chance and it goes in, that definitely fires the crowd up. The crowd was doing very well yesterday, by the way, really getting into it. It's one of those things that I watch constantly, especially the way that it looks on TV. So, alrighty, taking another break here, and we'll be right back on Knightline at Night.
I'm Jeff Allen. Join me each and every week on the Knightline Sports Network for the AAC Report. We bring you in-depth coverage of each school in football, basketball, baseball, softball, soccer, golf, tennis, and more, as well as bring you insider interviews and focus in on the biggest games and news of the week. That's all right here each week on the AAC Report, only on the Knightline Sports Network.
Welcome. This is a promo for the Take a Left at Albuquerque podcast, new to the Knightline Sports Network. You should listen to it. I say things like this.
We need to stop blaming Jerry, because we would do the exact same thing if we owned the Dallas freaking Cowboys. Do you know how much fun it is to own the Dallas Cowboys?
My guests will say things sometimes like this.
It's the Lord of the Flies thing that happens when they don't understand that things are wrong. Spoiler alert, until Piggy dies.
Lord of the Flies has been out for like 100 years. I don't even know.
Yeah. Sorry to everyone at home who I spoiled the book for. A book's been out for like 90 years or something.
And sometimes, rarely though, I'll say really stupid things like this. If they don't make it out of the West and the Raptors get to the finals, I will go on either this show or whoever's show and say that Kawhi Leonard is overrated, because I have too much evidence of it. New episodes drop every Friday with me and some of my good friends right here on the Knightline Sports Network.
And now, back to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back with you on Knightline at Night. I'm Andrew Phegley, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Bar Law. It has come the time for our Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week. Welcome to the Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week. Visit TijuanaFlats.com for takeout or delivery, or visit your local Tijuana Flats. Tex-Mex for everyone. All right, Tijuana Flats, our favorite fresh Tex-Mex food, period, out there. This is a hot take segment. I'm going to let Roger go first because he usually has the hottest of the hot takes.
All right. So for my hot sauce, hot bar, hot take of the week, I'm going to say that we will get our first ever win at Wichita State in the upcoming basketball game, and beat Houston by 5. So yes, that is a hot take, and I'm taking it this week.
All right, Ben, that's a super hot one from Roger there.
Yeah, no, I love that, and I need both of those for my hot take from a couple weeks ago that we would finish out January 5-1. Didn't expect the one to be at USF, but yeah, so I need both of those wins for that prediction to come true. I'm gonna go back to Darren Green Jr. and Darius Johnson, what we talked about earlier. I think Darren Green Jr. is going to be an all-conference player this year. He's going to do enough down the stretch to earn those honors from first or second team. I think more than likely second team. And Darius Johnson is going to continue his great play as of late to be on the all-freshman team as well. So I'm thinking 2 of those accolades are going to happen.
All righty. Well, I don't really have one this week. For some reason, I just haven't I don't know. I don't have one. But UCF does have quite the schedule coming up, so we can talk about that here for a second. Wichita on the 26th. What day is that? Is that Wednesday? Wednesday, yeah. At Wichita State, 8 p.m. And then Houston on the 29th, which is Saturday, 8 p.m. as well. And then starting off February, we get to play at USF again. I guess my hot take is going to be that we're going to beat USF handedly the next time we have them. I think that our players will understand a little bit more how important that is to beat them the next time coming up on February 3rd. So I'll go with that being my hot take. Ben, any last thoughts of what these next two games mean real quick?
Yeah, I mean, as Roger said, hopefully first time ever with that we're able to have a win at Wichita State. And then just, top 10, net team coming into our house on Saturday. A lot of former UCF basketball players are going to be there. We have an alumni event this weekend. It's one that hopefully we'll be able to witness a huge win at home this year in conference.
Well, that would be massive to win against number 10 Houston. That would just be huge. So we hope that happens. I don't know. They can't get behind like they have and hope to come back against a team like that. Anyway, we wish them the best. We will talk to you all next week. Go Knights.
Charge on.